How do you begin to define a woman who has been a volunteer coach for 30 years? Dedicated, yes. Respected, certainly. Knowledgeable, no doubt. And a leader, no question. But her son Shannon, who swam for her and with her, sums up his mother this way. She is a role model, not only as a swimmer and a coach, but as a humanitarian, a peer, and indeed as a mother. Any applause or accolades she has received are the results of a life dedicated to morality, hard work, and a belief system rooted in the basic premise that mankind is good. Jin Jin, as she is affectionately called by those who know her best, has dedicated a large portion of her 53 years to swimming. First in Colorado, where she swam with her 4 brothers and sisters, then at the U.S. International University at San Diego, where she majored in psychology and minored in sociology. The Denver-born Smith came to Canada to complete her psychology degree at Carleton University in Ottawa, and discovered Canadian swimming while lifeguarding at Ottawa area lakes. And finally, she discovered Yarmouth with her husband, Andy. Ginny recalls, I was approached by then YMCA director Hugh Spruill to help coach the Y Whitecaps in 1971. 2 years later, he asked me to take over the program, and naively, I said yes. And she's devoted 30 years of her life to coaching hundreds of swimmers, some with national and international qualifications, but all with a love of the sport engendered by this woman. Ginny is enthusiastic about her sport, whether it's very early in the morning or on a Friday at 7 p.m. after she's completed a long work week. Yes, Ginny Smith has coached Nova Scotia Canada Games teams, including being head swim coach at the just completed Canada Summer Games in London, Ontario. Yes, she has been a workshop conductor at several national swim coaches conferences. Yes, she has her levels 1 through 3 coaching certificates and is just finishing her level 4, the first female in Atlantic Canada to complete that level. And yes, she is an educator, working as a classroom teacher and as supervisor of special education in the Yarmouth District School Board. She is a member of many professional organizations such as the Association of Teachers of Exceptional Children and the Canadian Association of Learning Disabilities and the Canadian Association of Special Educators and the Canadian Council of Exceptional Children. But it's her loyalty to her swimmers, her dedication to their success, her goal of making swimming a marvelous experience, one that builds self-esteem and leadership, that makes Ginny Smith's contribution to Nova Scotia sport deserving of recognition at tonight's induction ceremony. And here's a perfect example of what she has meant to the Yarmouth Y Whitecaps. Several years ago, the Yarmouth YMYWCA, the Whitecaps training ground, was closed for renovations. Ginny wanted to keep her team together, so she bought a van and transported swimmers from Yarmouth to the nearest pool at College St. Anne in Church Point, over an hour away, and she did this 5 days a week. Dedicated and committed, yes, and she has taught her swimmers the meaning of both of those words. One year, at a meet at Sherbrooke, Quebec, it was on the schedule, and ever-frugal Ginny decided to save money. The team traveled by train to Sherbrooke, but a winter storm caused the Digby to St. John, New Brunswick ferry to be late. They missed their train connection. After taking a series of buses to Sherbrooke, they found their hotel rooms had been given away. And as she tells the rest, she says, we found accommodation and competed in the meet. On the way home, our train derailed in Maine. We missed the ferry in St. John and got home a day late, but she says we competed in that meet. Teacher, instructor, coach, mentor, and beyond all of that, role model, this is Ginny Smith, and we are proud to induct her as a builder of young men and women in sport to the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame. To present the plaque and the pin, can we have John Patterson, please, the Vice President of Sales of Office Interiors Limited, and Barb McEwen, who flew here from New York to celebrate with her sister tonight. Come forward to make the presentations. All right, come on forward here. Right into the lights. I guess we mentioned it in that bio, 53 of your years on this earth, and much of those have been revolving around or immersed in water with swimming. Why this sport, and why has it grabbed hold of you so?
I kept diving into dams when I was 2 years old, and my father said, "Get this kid some lessons," and I've never been out of the water a day since.
Well, it's a good thing for all of these young kids out here that enjoyed your coaching. Now, what about Yarmouth and southwestern Nova Scotia? You and Andy came there 30 years ago, never left. What was it about the southwestern Nova Scotia lifestyle that appealed to you?
Well, the ocean, the simplicity of the environment. In a sense, we could live a life of work and still contribute and volunteer and get to know our community and be involved without having it overwhelming. And also just because we wanted to live in a rural environment. And of course the people in Yarmouth kept us there.
Yeah, they're beautiful folks. What about, to this day, the one thing that still brings the greatest smile to your face as a coach?
Well, I think every time I see an athlete that I've coached brings a huge smile to my face. But after your little clip there, I have to say that my recollection of the time when I fell into the swimming pool this summer when I was coaching in the morning and stayed wet all day long has to be the one that brings the biggest smile right now.
Oh, well, listen, you got a big you go girl from the back there. So we'll wrap it up there. Folks, Ginny Smith, a wonderful volunteer coach, 30 years. I used to live in Yarmouth and sometimes work out at the Y, not often enough, but she'd be there at like 6 in the morning and then 9 o'clock at night, and it was like a fixture. So great to see you here tonight.